Hello everyone, welcome to this week's video, and today I wanted to share with you and talk about marks, mark making, and how I use marks in my work as elements that I add right in my pages, or as papers that I use on the collages that I've make inside my journals or in other pages. So for me, marks are really the character and your voice. They will give the voice, the tone, and the strength of your voice to your work. You know that when people say, oh, when I see something, I immediately know that is yours. It's about the color, the rhythm, the marks that you make. They are starting to appear constantly on your work, and that's not and that is created along the time, along the way you are exploring and creating. And the way I think and the way I do my things, my marks, they have a meaning, and I go to nature to find them. They are in my head, and I study them, and they have a meaning. So when I'm creating, it's not so difficult for me to create those marks, because I have an idea where I come from, where they are come from. Okay, so today I want to address these two points. One is you can create marks with several tools, and you can make them very loose and very strong to your hand, like very personal. And the other point is where I go to find and study my marks. Okay, so they are starting to appear on my work. So the first thing is that I go to nature to find my marks, because when I'm creating, I want to tell a story. I know that this story might only happen in my head the way I thought, because I'm the creator of this, but I'm trying to tell a story. And it might be weird for other people, but it's the way I'm expressing this story, And these marks have a why, because they are here for a why, like, for example, on these, for me, this is like this is like a broken flower that was just like went with from the garden, and then the animals and the composition come and broke everything down, and here we have the passage of those animals. So these are marks. By the way, I also use stitches as marks on my work. I like to use them. They help me to tell the story that I want. I want to give you another one. For example, here, the broken leaf. The leaf, it's being eaten by the bugs, and they are here represented by these marks of these threads. But I have more here, marks that I had into my work. And for example, here I have stitches. These are supposed to be those marks in the, I don't know, the center of the flower, the center. They are little buttons, I don't know, little dots that we see. So these can be something that I put on my head. Okay, that shape is beautiful. So here I did that, but instead of doing those in the center, I did on the leaf. It's like deconstructing all the piece into parts. The stitches from all the animals that are in this garden. It's going to everything fall apart. They are represented here in the green of the leaves. So I don't know if this makes sense in your head. Sorry if it is not, if it doesn't, because this is the way I think. And I want to share with you a little bit the way I'm thinking when I'm creating like an abstract collage or telling a story inside my journal, because I'm really not too much to words in here in this place. I have journals where I write, but these ones are the ones that I want to visually express myself and tell a story through a collage or through a composition, something that I'm making here. And really I found that the marks that I do on my pages, they really help me to tell that story, okay? And I want to address this today with you. Okay, I had here a paper, a white paper, because I want to make some marks so you can see, and let's talk about that. And probably I will use some brown one too, because I like these old papers to add marks, because I love this like passage of time. So that's it. And first of all, I want to give you just a quick flip through on how I use marks, or what tools I use for marks. You already know I go to nature to find my marks, okay? I see the trees, I see the stones, I see the marks of the rocks, I see the lines and the movement of the flowers. So the elements of a flower, for example. So all those things give me ideas of marks or things that I can add in my abstract collages or on the stories that I want to tell. And because I like them loose and very freeing, I use different tools, not only pencils. So one is pencils, of course, different kinds of pencils, basically water-soluble ones that we can just drop in the water. I have here some little water, and you can, for example, I'm thinking on weeds. And so you can use, of course, the water-soluble charcoals or graphite, something like that, Stabilo oil. And this is a soft pastel, and you can play with the strengthness of the thickness of your mark, you know. I like to put on the water. Okay, we can just play with the shape and the strength of the mark that you are making. This is, for example, a nail color too. It's awesome because it's watercolor too. It's water soluble. I like this. So these are the ones that are more common, that we already know, that we can just use and create our marks. But then I like to go a little bit more wild and create some of my own tools to give me just more freedom, or to look to tools that I have around me that might be, for example, I have here a brush. This is a hard brush for scrubbing and for, I don't know what is this for, but I found this and I thought, wow, this could be. So I have here a little bit of acrylic with very diluted, and something else, I don't know, because this was where I normally use to dilute paint, so it's a mixer, it's whatever, it's in there. And just look at this. How can we and they give different marks where you are just using the hand in different ways. So another one are just twigs from the outside. Twigs. Can you control these? No, these are really very loosened and you cannot control the twig. So it's a great way to just loosen up and create marks that are wild, free. I like to draw shapes of leaves. You can just draw some stones. You can just think that you are drawing some twigs, branches from trees. So this is another way. And another way is that you can just create your own brushes. I have many that I've created along the time in several classes and for myself, and I really find these so I'm going to have another paper here, so liberating and freedom. With, for example, this one, we cannot just control this. This has a imagine that I'm just drawing some wildflower marks that are like flowers. And those marks we can just put then on a collage. Look at this. For example, I have here a very diluted water, but I have here also a little bit of black. And for example, this is another one that I've made with a sponge. They can come here. So it's really a very loosened way. I have this one here, for example, with I'm going to draw some flowers. And with this way, I can be very loose. And because I'm using a big paper that I know that I will be just tearing this apart to add into collages, it's going to be more easy for me to create without thinking on, oh my goodness, how this is going to be. And we can combine different tools and play and have an amazing afternoon just making marks. Look at this. Okay, I'm going to put this one aside just to dry because it is so good. And for example, another one, this one has, it's so, let me put this on this paper here. I'm imagining that I'm just drawing big stones and I cannot control. So of course I will not use this as big as this. I will just tear this, but we could just, if we are working on big, you cannot control this, so it's very interesting. You can make with a brush. Then put our marks even more complex, because we can just go and play with the thickness of the tool that we are playing with. So that's another thing. So my friends, so these are ideas of kinds of tools that I normally use to just play around with my marks, tweaks, pencils, whatever you find it more connect with your way of working, and that makes more sense. The other thing that I want to address is that I take my marks from nature studies, the different elements from the landscape. And the other thing that I want to give you, and that I will left for the next week, is that I also use stitches. I also use, and we can also make other kinds of marks. I told you the stitches, and for example, I have here another one that I want to give. I don't know if this is. It's here. No, it's not here. So for example, in this collage here, I did marks that are actually fused in the paper, and as well as the threads. They are the combination of marks that I like to have on my works with the marks that we make on the paper and that we have been playing around here. So next week I will give you some ideas on different ways of these marks, how I make them, and how you can play with them, because you see here I made them little and big. So playing with the dimension as well as the ones that we've created here will bring dynamic and differentiation on your works inside your pages. So that's all for today, my friends. I hope you really enjoyed this video today. Just play around with some tools and make your marks and start seeing. One of the things that I like to make, and I encourage you to make too, is that create like a portfolio, a catalog of your marks, and as your work is going, you will start seeing which ones are more appearing in your journals on your pages. So those are marks that are making meaning and are starting to make sense on your brain for you. So my friends, it's all for today. I hope you enjoy. Let me know in the comments if this makes any sense for you. Which kind of marks do you feel more comfortable with? If you thought on these, what are your thoughts about this? And I want to know, and I would love to discuss about this with you. If you are new here and you don't know, I love art journaling, and I have this entire journal make in a class for you. It's free. It's a free class where I'm making my fragments journal. So join me there, and the link is below in the description box. And yeah, it's all for today. I hope you play a lot and continue growing your creative mind. And we see you next week. Bye bye.